All right, folks, we are going to do a gem. Then we're going to play this interview with Kshama Sawant. Please do what you can to help secure Kshama Sawant's seat in the Seattle City Council. And then Harvey K, he's getting antsy out there. He's going to join us to talk about this fantastic book, Make America Radical Again. But first, it's time to wrestle up some economics. David Griscom.
Sounds
All
good.
right, let's do it.
Yeah, I wanted to. So Credit Suisse came out with their annual Global Wealth Report, and it's probably one of the better Global Wealth Report out there. So I definitely suggest people checking it out. I just wanted to hit some of the top lines from it real quick. As you would expect, the United States is heavily featured and continues its trend of wealth growth since the financial crisis. 40% of millionaires across the globe are American, and 40% of those in the top 1% of global wealth distribution are American. You know, there's plenty in the report that shows that there's uneven development in the globe. North America and Europe have 57% of household wealth across the globe, despite only making up 17% of the global population. But while we recognize it, it's also important to recognize that for many people in America and many people in Europe, they do not have that access to wealth that is very much dominated by the top 10% and the top 1%. So 57% of all adults in the world, their wealth is below $10,000 US in 2019. So that's over half of the global population. Household wealth is under 10%. And for most people, it's zero. Like by far, most people, it's zero. So consider that reality that even though there's an imperial core, there is a real devastating unity across the globe between the elite and the propertyless across the globe too have a very serious unity when it comes to wealth. There is a global working class, and you can see it from the United States to Africa to Europe to North America, across the globe. So again, remember that this is wealth, not income. And I just want to quote from the report again: the bottom half of wealth holders collectively accounted for less than 1% of global wealth in mid-2019. So I'll say that again. The bottom half of wealth holders collectively accounted for less than 1% of global wealth, while the richest 10% own 82% of global wealth, and the top 1% alone account for 45% of wealth. So, we're talking a lot about the financial crisis when we're talking about wealth and what's happened in the past 10 years. Financial assets rose in every region, contributing to 39% of the increase in gross wealth worldwide. Let's also remember what kind of people have access to financial assets, that being the super wealthy already. And this is also very striking. 71% of the rise in North America, so 71% of the rise in wealth in North America came from financial assets. That's not typical across the globe, where property is mainly the main source of wealth for people across the globe. So in our country, specifically the United States, financial assets are so important to the benefit of the bourgeoisie. So just, two quick lessons that we can take from this. One, there's clearly an imperial core, but it is also true that it's that there's a small but powerful international group of capitalists that owns the vast majority of the wealth. So even though there are absolutely fundamental different lived realities of people across the globe, there is something that unites literally half of the globe against a very small group of people that are able to control so much of the global wealth. Two, we need to recognize that the amount of money that our 1% controls in the United States is exceptional. And as socialists in America, we need to be doing everything that we can to relieve them of that burden, and to be doing as much as we can to be redistributing that wealth, not just across the United States, but across the globe. When you recognize that most households have no wealth at all, and a very small group of people own 45% of the global wealth, the solution starts to become very clear.
In a certain
It's like,
sense.
in the tetherball, when the tetherball's on your side and it's your turn to hit it, like that's us. Like it used to be the Brits. It used to be the British people that they had the empire, and it's like their turn to hit the ball. Like we have to really smack it this time.
It too.
Yeah, you gotta smack that. It's definitely on our side. It's about to hit us in the face. It actually is hitting us on the face. It's on its 10th go around, smacking us in the face. You just watched a Michael Brooks show video. Subscribe to get them all. Why wouldn't you? Don't be foolish. click subscribe below and become a patron as well. Patreon.com/TMBS. Thanks, everybody.